Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love real Viking history without the Hollywood glitter, you're in the right place. Today we're stepping through the heavy wooden door of a 10th century Norse longhouse to discover what daily life was actually like. Forget the epic feasts and constant sword fights you see in movies. Real Viking life was smoky, crowded, hardworking, and surprisingly intimate. We're talking about 15 to 30 people, men, women, children, grandparents, servants, and sometimes animals, all living, eating, sleeping, and working together under one turf-covered roof. Picture this. It's a freezing January morning in 920 AD, somewhere on the coast of Norway. Outside, the wind howls and snow piles against the walls. Inside, the only light comes from a long central fire and a small hole in the roof. The air is thick with wood smoke, the smell of wool, and a faint hint of livestock. This is home. This is the Viking Longhouse, the beating heart of Norse family life for over 3 centuries. So what exactly was a Viking longhouse? Archaeologists have excavated dozens of them across Scandinavia, Iceland, Greenland, and even Newfoundland. A typical one measured 15 to 30 meters long and 5 to 8 meters wide. The shape was long and slightly boat-like, with curved walls that helped it withstand fierce Nordic gales. Builders used sturdy oak or pine posts sunk into the ground, then filled the space with horizontal planks, wattle and daub, or stone. The roof was steeply pitched and covered either with thick thatch or layers of turf that acted like natural insulation, green in summer, white with snow in winter. The genius of the design was its simplicity and efficiency. One big open space meant one fire could heat everyone. There were almost no internal walls. Privacy was almost non-existent, and that was completely normal. Wealthier longhouses might have a small partitioned bed closet for the master and mistress, but most families lived completely in the open. Now let's walk inside together. As you cross the threshold, your eyes sting from the smoke. The floor is packed earth, sometimes covered with wooden planks in richer homes. Running straight down the center is the long hearth. A shallow trench lined with flat stones, often 5 or 6 meters long. This is the heart and soul of the house. The fire is never allowed to go out completely. Embers are banked at night and rekindled every morning. Iron chains hang from the roof beams, holding heavy cooking cauldrons. Smoke rises and escapes through the louvered smoke hole in the roof. There were no chimneys. The haze was constant, and everyone's clothes and hair carried the smell of wood smoke for life. Along both long walls run raised wooden platforms called set, or benches. They are about 1 meter high and 2 meters deep, covered with straw mattresses, sheepskins, and wool blankets. During the day, people sit here to eat, spin wool, mend tools, or talk. At night, the same benches become sleeping quarters for the entire household. The head of the family usually takes the spot closest to the fire at the high end of the house. Children and servants sleep farther down. At the lower end, especially in winter, livestock, cows, sheep, goats, sometimes even horses, are brought inside to keep them safe from wolves and freezing temperatures. Their body heat helps warm the house, but it also means the smell of manure is never far away. Furniture is minimal. A few wooden chests hold clothes and valuables. Small folding tables are brought out for meals. Weapons, tools, and drying herbs hang from the rafters. An upright loom leans against the wall where the women weave cloth. This is not a castle or a Hollywood hall. This is a practical, multifunctional living space built for survival. A typical day begins before sunrise. Someone stirs the fire, adds fresh logs, and the house slowly wakes. The first meal of the day, Dagmal, the day meal, is simple and quick. A thick porridge of barley or oats bubbles in the cauldron. It might be sweetened with wild honey or dried berries saved from autumn. Flatbread baked on hot stones, a chunk of salted fish, and perhaps some skyr, a thick, tangy yogurt-like cheese that is still eaten in Iceland today. Complete the breakfast. Everyone eats together on the benches, passing wooden bowls and spoons. After breakfast, the men head out. Some go to the fields to plow or harvest, others repair fishing nets, tend livestock or chop firewood. In coastal settlements, the boats go out for cod or herring. Women and older children stay inside or near the house. Their work never stops. Grinding grain with a heavy quern stone, churning butter, brewing ale, spinning wool on drop spindles, and weaving on the big upright loom. Children as young as 5 or 6 already have chores. Fetching water from the stream, watching younger siblings, or collecting eggs. The main meal, natmal, the night meal, is eaten in the evening when everyone returns. This is the big one. A hearty stew simmers for hours, chunks of pork, mutton or beef, fresh in summer, salted or smoked in winter, root vegetables such as turnips, carrots and onions, plus barley or peas. Coastal families add dried fish or fresh shellfish. In autumn, they feast on game, deer, wild boar or seabirds. Bread is always present, often dense rye or barley loaves. To drink, they have ale brewed from barley, sweet mead made from honey or buttermilk. Water is drunk too, but fermented drinks are safer and more nutritious. Food is seasonal and preserved with skill. Meat is smoked above the fire or packed in salt. Fish is dried on racks or fermented into surströmming-style delicacies. Vegetables are stored in root cellars. Nothing is wasted. Even blood from slaughtered animals is mixed with flour to make blood pancakes or sausages. Clothing tells the story of both practicality and status. Men wear a knee-length wool tunic called a kertil, belted at the waist with trousers or leg wraps underneath. In cold weather, they add a heavy wool cloak fastened with a large bronze or silver brooch. Women wear a long linen or wool underdress, topped by an apron-like overdress suspended from 2 ornate oval brooches on the shoulders. These brooches are often the most expensive item a woman owns, beautifully cast with gripping beasts or interlaced patterns. Married women cover their hair with a linen cap or scarf. Children dress like miniature adults. Wool is the superstar fabric, warm, water repellent, and available everywhere. Linen is lighter and cooler for summer. Silk and embroidered borders are rare, luxury imports that only the richest families could afford. Jewelry is practical and symbolic. Arm rings, neck rings, Thor's hammer pendants, and beads of glass or amber. Vikings were surprisingly clean for their time. Combs made of bone or antler are found in almost every longhouse, and they bathed weekly in rivers or sweat lodges. As darkness falls, the longhouse becomes the social center of the world. The family gathers around the fire for the evening meal. After the bowls are cleared, the real magic begins. Someone picks up a lyre or a flute. Stories flow. A grandfather recites verses from the poetic Edda about Odin's wanderings or Thor's battles with giants. Children listen wide-eyed. Adults discuss the day's work, plan the next trading voyage, or settle small disputes. Board games like Kanifatafel are played by firelight. Tools are repaired, wool is spun, and the fire crackles. This communal living had a dark side too. The constant smoke damaged lungs over time. Many skeletons show signs of respiratory disease. Eyes watered constantly. The lack of privacy meant everyone knew everyone's business. Arguments could escalate quickly. In winter, the days were only a few hours long, and the house was lit only by the fire and small soapstone oil lamps. Lice and fleas were constant companions despite the combs. Disease spread fast in such close quarters, yet the same closeness created incredibly strong family bonds and a resilient community that could survive famine, raids, or long winters. Life in the Longhouse was not glamorous, but it was effective. It turned ordinary farmers into legendary seafarers. It preserved sagas that still shape our culture today. It taught children skills from the moment they could walk. And it gave the Vikings the toughness and teamwork that let them raid, trade, and settle from Constantinople to North America. So next time you watch a Viking show and see warriors drinking in a giant hall, remember the real picture. Smoke, shared benches, porridge in the morning, stew at night, wool clothes, and stories told by firelight. That was the true Viking Longhouse, a place where legends were born, not in battle, but in the quiet endurance of everyday life. If you enjoyed this journey inside the Longhouse, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Next time we're meeting the Viking women, Shieldmaidens, traders, farmers, and powerful matriarchs who ran these households while the men were away. Drop a comment below. Would you survive a winter in a real Viking Longhouse? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Skål!